I look away at any point in the pod, I'm locked in. I got notes and all sorts of stuff going on here.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man.
All right, you ready to get into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, episode 9 of Teddy's Vinyl Club podcast. What's going on? Let me see. Hats still on sale. Portion of the funds all going towards the Valerie Fund still for childhood blood disorders and cancers. Gotta love that, right?
That's dope.
What else? We're doing some new content coming out, reaction videos to music videos, that sort of thing. Weekly rotations for Spotify, all that. Anyway, let's get to it. Guest today, a very special guest. They're all special, but we got a good one here. Mr. Nice on a mic, you could call me Scott Pippen. Mr. A to the R to the Obian. Ladies and gentlemen, A-Rob.
Thank you for having me, bro. I'm glad I made it out here. I know we had this in motion for quite a while now, so definitely glad that...
You're a busy guy, man. We gotta find time.
Yeah. I'm glad to find the time, for you. I respect your art, respect your craft, so gotta pop over the bridge and find the time.
Yeah, how far is the drive for you here?
Now I'm outside of the city. I'm a suburban boy now, so after...
PA?
8 years, after 8 years in the city, I'm a Delco boy now. So
Delco's nice though.
Yeah, we're chilling, man.
What made the switch happen there?
Grown up things. I got engaged and we got a house, and adulting stuff is going down. So now a good 45 minute. Instead of a 15-minute pop over the bridge, it's a good 45-minute trek down, but always worth it.
How long you been engaged?
About a year now. So, wedding.
Date?
We don't. Wedding plans are in motion. We're taking our time a little bit, but
I only ask because it might be around the corner for me myself.
Hey, okay. We'll cut that part out. Just keep it a little secret.
Oh no, it's very out in the open.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. I didn't know if you had a secret planned or anything like that.
No, we're just going with it. Hey Rob, for those who don't know you, if you would just a general bio, how you became a musician, all that good stuff, whatever you want to share with us, the intro.
So my rap name is A-Rob. My real name is Amin. A-Rob stands for Always Remember Our Blessings. That's what I, try to portray in my music, being grateful, and being grateful for what you have and grateful for the blessings that you're given. I'm Palestinian, 100% Palestinian, but I was born and raised in Pennsylvania. Both of my parents are 100% Palestinian. They grew up there. My mom fled from war on foot when she was 3-4 years old, became a refugee in Jordan. Eventually, long story short, she came to America. My dad's family came to America. They met in Pennsylvania or Jersey, actually. They might have met in Jersey.
Shout out Jersey.
Yeah, shout out Jersey. And so, I'm a Palestinian rapper, also an audio engineer and producer. I started rapping in, when a lot of us started rapping, those like 8th, 9th grade lunchtimes, beating on the table.
That's right.
Spitting bars, watching like rap battles and, the Philly Smack DVDs and stuff like that. Watching Cassidy, listening to Lupe Fiasco, all the other legends, the Jay-Z's, the Eminem, a lot of Eminem growing up.
No Joe Budden for you?
Not too much Joe Budden, but there was a couple.
Connect,
There was a couple. Actually, one of the first shows I did was opening for Joe Budden.
How about that?
And opened up for him in my hometown, Harrisburg, PA. By the way, shout out. That's where I'm from. And that's a kind of a long-winded bio.
All right, and when do you get to the point where you're pursuing this? Like, was it straight out of high school? Did you go to college at all? What was the break for you?
Yeah, I went to college. Shout out Westchester. I went to Westchester University.
Asher Roth, alma mater as well, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was like, hey, if Asher Roth can make it and he went to Westchester, let's do but I was
that
just,
actually a thought for you?
I mean, because there's always the thought when you're like in Pennsylvania and in Westchester, I'm like, okay, I'm not in New York, I'm not in LA, but I'm like, people made it from here in rap, so I'm like, you know, and it was becoming a different time where I had the mic and the computer, and people were like, you were able to record yourself and put it online and get your music on Apple Music and Spotify for the first time without like the help of a record label. So I'm like, okay, this is possible. So yeah, I was making music, you know, end of high school, it started getting a little serious. All through college, I was making stuff and putting it out. But I didn't really have the sound that I was aiming for, and a really polished sound. And I think I didn't really find my sound fully until after college. And really these past like 3 years, I'd say, I really started to find my sound. So it's been a slow grind, man. It's been a slow grind, but now I'm starting to feel like it's actually professional, and I've honed it in a little bit.
Well, quick backtrack for you. What are your thoughts on Westchester? I gotta tell you, I had a couple friends there in college. Not a big fan of the vibe at Westchester.
Where'd you went to college as well?
I went to Temple, yeah.
Oh, you went to Temple. Oh, okay. Shout out Temple.
T for Temple, you.
Lots of friends from Temple. I love Westchester, man.
Really?
Westchester was like, yeah, the best time in my life.
Well, good parties, right?
Yeah, good parties. I met some of my best friends. Still to this date, we're best friends. Hang out all the time, go on trips together all the time. It was like because everything's like walking distance. Everything is kind of in the town, you know. You don't really get out of the town too much. You'll come to Philly for some concerts and shows and stuff. But other than that, you're in Westchester. Everything's like walking distance, and just everybody was tight knit. And it was like my group of friends was like a frat without being a frat, you know. None of us were in a frat, but we kind of made our own crew, and yeah, it was tight. I love Westchester.
Good food there as well, right? I remember one time I got like a fat sandwich there.
Oh yeah, oh man.
It's probably drunk, so it tasted so good. But
yeah, there was some. Yeah, it was good, like good college food, good college food, and they're stepping it up now. There's a lot of new restaurants and stuff out there now. I just went there last weekend or 2 weekends ago.
What are you doing there? Just friends?
Like, yeah, linking up with some college friends, and yeah, it's different now. It's getting a little more prestigious, but it was more collegey.
Yeah,
and
clean up their act a little bit.
Yeah, you could spend $20 and the whole squad gets some food back in the day. Now it's not like that.
I do want to hone in on it though. So, when was the point? So you're making raps in college, fucking around a little bit. Then when you did you graduate from Westchester?
I did graduate, yeah.
What was your degree?
I got a marketing degree, and so I basically went to college because I was like, I'm not staying in my hometown. I'm like, I'm not sticking around here, and I'll go get a marketing degree, and I think that could coincide with music in some ways. So I'm like, let's try that. And my idea, you know, as a teenager at that time, I'm like, by the time I get out of college, like, it's not even gonna matter. The music's gonna be taken off. So the degree's not even gonna matter. And when that time came, I was like, well, it didn't really take off as much as I had expected, but at least I got this degree if I ever want to use it, and I'm gonna keep pursuing the music in the meantime.
So are you currently, in the marketing field, or are you just full go with music?
Yeah, no, I'm full going with music right now. I do engineering for other artists, so that ended up being my main workflow. Aside from like making my own music and doing shows, it was engineering for other artists, in person in the studios in Philly that I work in, or people like all around the world. I'd be reaching out. I guess I'd be doing a little bit of marketing for that online, reaching out, getting clients, and then they come back, send me their stems and whatnot. I do the mix and mastering, send it back to them. But who knows? I might dust off that marketing degree and do a couple. I could be a multifaceted artist,
So I think about, then the time that I first met you was we had that audition, right? For the Chance the Rapper Cardi B show. Remember?
Is that the first time I met you?
Yeah, and you were at my table.
Yeah, Yeah, and Mike was there. Mike Voss was there.
Oh, was
Right?
he? At our table?
Yeah.
I didn't know anyone there. I was just locked into what I was about to do.
Yeah, I blew that. I blew that so bad.
So did I. I forgot my words.
I didn't forget my words, but I was like, my voice was so raspy by the end of it.
Yeah.
You know, I was probably smoking too many cigarettes.
That'll do it. You know what the problem was for me? And I told the story last podcast. I went into the audition, like, it was not a good time for me with music. Like, my family wasn't very supportive of it. I was kind of in Philly on my own. So I went in there just guns blazing, like, I'm going to show these motherfuckers I can rap.
Right.
That type of energy. And then
Right.
I got in there, and it was all like people with their families and stuff. And I was like, what the fuck's the vibe? Just like wipe my hard drive.
Yeah, wow.
And then the other time I met you, interesting story. You'll remember this probably. I did a show at Bourbon and Branch, opened up for Dappa, which was a cool opportunity. I just met Alexander Charles. Like, I was a big fan of him around when I was in college. He was with Ground Up, very dope group.
Yeah, they were dope. Yeah.
So I did a little feature for him on an album, and I knew that he lived in the same building as Asher. So I did the show Bourbon and Branch, and someone said, Al's gonna come through and Asher too. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So, like, I never met Asher before, big fan. So they come up, say what's up before the show starts, and then whatever, show goes good. I get off stage, and there's this girl in the audience that I matched with on Tinder like 2 years ago, right? So I'm like focused on, like, let me put on a good show. Asher Ross here, what the fuck? And then I see this girl, and she's like, oh, hey, what's up? Like, I bought a ticket to the show. You're really good. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
That's hilarious.
So I say what's up to this girl, and she's like, oh, you want to hang out after the show? And I'm like, I guess, like, this girl bought a ticket to my show. She came out. She seemed a little tipsy at the time.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, so at least I'll hang out with this girl at the show, right? Then I say what's up to Asher. I meet him. Swizzy Mac was there. And Asher says, yeah, we're having a little kickback for a friend's birthday after the show if you want to come through. I'm like, oh, shit. So I tell this girl, I'm like, hey, it's a little kickback for a birthday party. That's what we're going to do if that's cool with you. She's down with it. This girl was, like, drunk. Not a good look. So we're walking to my car, and as soon as we get in my car to go to the party, she's like, can we make out now? That's what she says when we get in my car. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, hold on a second. I got to try this party. So I drive there. Fun. We get there. Asher's there. Al. And I just got my eye on this girl. Like, I'm keeping my distance because I don't really want to talk to her, but she is like a social butterfly. And she's just like going up to people and starting long conversations. And I'm like, all good. At some point, she spills water like next to the DJ's computer. And I'm pretty sure I heard somebody say something along the lines of like, who is this girl? Who brought this girl? Something like that. I look over, Rob's on the couch, just like, what the fuck's this guy doing here?
Lots going on.
So I had to pull, I'm not proud of this. I had to do the old like, I'm heading out.
Yeah.
Let me call you an Uber. She got in the Uber.
You came back in.
One of those deals.
That's actually respectable, Like,
but you were there. Scott Pippen was on the mix, if I recall, at the party.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
And that was my first meeting of you. Do you have any recollection of that?
I remember that day for sure. I didn't remember that they were playing Scott Pippen, which is our song for people who don't know, which I think was on... was that 21? I did a thing where I brought 21 artists together, and yeah, we did that song called "It Scott Pippen." The mic's all I need. You can call me Scott Pippen. That's where it came in. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah. We used to hang out there a little bit because my girl's friend, her best friend, was connected with them somehow. Oh, actually, we were all connected with Mikey. That's what it was. Mikey was the other dude that lived there, and he didn't do music or anything.
I thought Yanni lived there.
I think maybe he did, or maybe he lived across the street. But shout out Mikey Bradley. He was just always around the musical people, even though he didn't make music at all. So super cool dude. So we would just go hang out with him, and he'd be like, "Yeah, we're having a party tonight. Come through, whatever." So. Yeah, it was.
It's a good time, man. Good time to be alive.
Yeah. No, that was fun. Yeah, I remember seeing you there, and I was like, oh, this is dope. You did the show. I think I was at the show too.
Maybe. I don't know, man. There's a lot going on. My father was there. I was like all over the place.
Yeah, that's dope. No, I was at the show. I know I was. It was upstairs at was it upstairs at like did you say
Bourbon and Branch?
Bourbon and Branch, yeah. Yeah. No, I remember that.
That's a cool spot. All right, I would like to get into the evolution of your music a little more. So you start just kind of freestyling and then getting to making raps in college. When is it that you put out your first music under A-Rob, like streaming music?
Probably senior year of high school, maybe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's been A-Rob ever since the beginning, and yeah, the probably the first time I got on streaming platforms was like maybe freshman year of college or senior year of high school, somewhere around there, and that stuff has mostly been deleted by now because I'm like, yeah, that sounds terrible. Like,
well, do you notice a big change in yourself lyrically? Because, for example, like more recently with all of the Palestine and everything, I feel like you're writing a lot more purposeful raps.
Yeah.
So talk about kind of the evolution of your writing.
Yeah, I used to just write about like whatever and anything that came to my mind, like
whatever sounds good.
Whatever sounds good,
LaCroix's
you know.
fucking you up, man. We'll go with that.
Yeah, the LaCroix. Yeah, I'm burping a lot. I probably shouldn't be drinking a carbonated beverage, bro. But,
no, we're real relaxed over here. Don't worry.
Yeah, I used to just rap about like whatever, and it was like maybe some inappropriate stuff. Like I was like, I hope my mom doesn't hear this song type stuff. And I'm like, and then I guess time went on and the sound matured, and I'm like, okay, trying to really brand myself and be like, what is it that I want to talk about, what's important to me. And a lot of that has to do with Palestine and and I always talked about Palestine, and I would throw it in there and talked about the struggles of my people, and you know, the struggles of anybody dealing with injustice all around the world, no matter what your walk of life is. And I feel like that's the hip hop that I grew up loving, like that Lupe Fiasco, and that the stuff that really talked about the struggles of people and
lyricists.
Yeah, that kind of lyricism really stuck with me. So I'm like, okay, I really want to do that. It was kind of like the conscious rap, you know, which used to be very cool. At a earlier time, conscious rap used to be cool and successful, and there was a lot of like major labels signing conscious artists, and then it pivoted at some point, and for the last, it might be coming back a little bit, but for the last, like, 10 years, everybody's like, we don't give a damn about no conscious rap. We don't want to hear that shit. Like,
even, like, Eminem back in the day, who was saying wild stuff, but it was very, like, it was focused. It was centered around a topic or a story.
Yeah.
Or now it's just, like, it's like bar by bar, just say whatever you want.
Yeah. Even Eminem now he just, that's what, I'm always waiting for him to, like he did the new song on his album about his daughter. And I'm like, okay, cool. This is great. This is like meaningful. But the rest of the album is like, let me remind you that I'm a better rapper than everybody. And
yeah,
like,
I just watched that video with my girlfriend last night, the one of his daughter getting married. For me, it's just like the flow and the delivery is so, I don't even know what it is, man.
It's
like,
new. It's new age Eminem flow.
I listened to Eminem for so long, and I just kept getting like more and more pissed off. Like the Relapse, I was like, I don't like this. Recovery, dear God, not for me. And then Marshall Mathers 2 is like, I'm getting back to my old sound. I listened to it, no, not close. So now I've just kind of given up on him a little bit.
Yeah, I did like Marshall Mathers LP 2. I did actually like that. Yeah, there was some songs on there for sure, like the one with Kendrick, and then the yeah, there was some cool stuff on there. I think Rick Rubin had a hand in that album, so I thought it turned out pretty cool. But it still wasn't 100% like getting back to the old ways. And I don't know, you can't really. I guess you can't expect artists to do that.
That's true.
People grow and evolve and change, and it's like, yeah, we're never gonna get back to that. So I don't even know how we got on the topic of Eminem, or if I answered the previous question.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah. Is this a prop or is this
no, that's water. That's for you, man. Freshly poured right before we got on. All right, so Specifically with the raps that you're doing now, a lot of Palestinian awareness. What was it that made you kind of take that leap or say to yourself, this is what I'm going to focus my energy on, creating an impact here?
Yeah, I think for me, it wasn't really a choice. I don't have a choice. Like, if I can use anything, if I can do anything to help my people, or people that are dealing with injustice and going through bullshit in the world. But for me, obviously, it's closer to my heart. These are my people. I'm Palestinian, so when there's shit going on with Palestinian people, if I can do anything to help, I think the best thing I could do is use my art to make people aware. And a lot of people, even a year, this has been going on since 1948, but a lot of people have not really known what's been going on until this like past year. So if I could do anything to just open people's eyes and let them see the tragedies that are going on, and let them, I guess, kind of relate to a Palestinian American and be like, oh, he's Palestinian. Okay, it might open their eyes and be like, okay, let me. Some people might have a negative connotation of Palestinians. If they could listen to my music and be like, oh, I fuck with Palestinians now. Let me look into this and not be so harsh on them,
Yeah.
Or anything I could do. I'm like, I don't have a choice. I have to do it.
Yeah. Well, like we said before the pod, you have family that's still in Gaza. And I don't want to like sensationalize it, but I think it is important to give people information or perspective from someone that has family there. So would you be comfortable talking about just like what their situation is like, what it is day to day, communicating with them?
Yeah, so most of my family's in the West Bank, and then I do have my uncle's wife is in Gaza, and for people in Gaza, I know that it's hard to communicate. Whenever you can get in touch with a family member, it's like, where you at? Where have you been displaced to? Are you still alive? Like, how much food can you possibly get today? What's the deal? Because people have been moved all around, up and down Gaza, and they're telling people to move because there's gonna be bombs dropped on this area, and then move again, bombs drop. The whole entire place is just completely blown to smithereens at this point. So it's like now people are trying to either evacuate and start a new life in like Egypt, or people are like, we have to stay here, and when the dust settles, we're gonna rebuild our entire city, if they possibly can. So it's a very day-to-day thing, and people, like, we're just trying to make sure what I'm donating to and raising money for is, for people to have food and shelter at this time, and their shelter could be like tents and stuff, and the food is like, whatever they can get. But there's good organizations, like part of the proceeds from my album go to this organization called Heal Palestine. There's like PCRF, and they're down there, they're on the front lines, cooking food for these people, giving them medical attention, making sure they have the proper medical attention, and stuff like that, And in the West Bank, it's a little more calm. But it's always basically a war zone or a potential war zone. So yeah, that's I just pray for my people over there every day, and I urge people to do research and be open minded, and think about all the innocent people over there that have nothing to do with this war, and that are getting the brunt end of it. Getting the shit end of the stick for all of this, and they got nothing to do with it. Most of them are little kids or women and children, But
I mean, are there like safety zones, like for people, like is your family in one, or is it very much like day to day, just in fear? Like, I hope that they're alive.
I mean, yeah, for people in Gaza, like I said, I only have one person in Gaza who is my uncle's wife, so I don't communicate with her directly. So I do have to check in with him and see like what his communication is. But safety zones are, I don't know how much you stay up on it. But like most recently, just like a few days ago, there's a safety zone that was like tents outside of a hospital, and the entire hospital was like bombed, and all the tents were burnt, and it was nothing but innocent civilians in there. So safety zones are like that don't even exist. Yeah, it's like it's not. They say this is a safety zone, and then it turns out like, oh no, that wasn't safe at all. So yeah, people really don't know what the fuck to do. And yeah, it's day by day. It's really day by day. People are just trying to be in the safest area possible and pray that it actually is safe, and do what they can day by day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's great that you're at least able to do something with music to have proceeds, send money over there. Also, the fest that you did most recently, if you were there, Macklemore was there. What was the name of it? I have it written down here.
There was some really
Palestine
dope people,
Will Live
man.
Forever Fest, right?
Yeah, very, very dope event. This dude Maher, shout out to Maher in Seattle, he helped put together this whole event, and they brought Macklemore out, they brought Anise out, excuse me, the LaCroix's coming back. They brought Anise out, Macklemore, MC Abdul, who is this young rap, you should check him out, man. He's a young rapper from Gaza, actually, and he's been putting out videos on YouTube and stuff since he was like 12 years old, just rapping like on the rubble, straight up, like standing on the rubble, just, you know, spitting bars. And
You said he lives in Gaza?
he's in America now, but yeah, he's from Gaza, and now he's in America, kind of touring around to all these events and helping raise money. He's dope. He was there, and why am I blanking on the other bull's name? I'll find it for you at some point. But there was a lot of dope artists there, and we raised around $250,000.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, and that all went like directly to reputable charities that are providing food and medical attention and stuff like that for people. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it was very cool.
How do they find you in a situation like that? Was it off Instagram? Because I know you have, particularly the one reel that's doing like over 1 million, something crazy now.
The Demi Palestini is what that song is called, which means my blood is Palestinian, and that's like the most popular Palestinian song ever. So I made like a rap version of it and sampled it and whatnot. And that reel did really well, especially in like Middle Eastern countries and stuff. So yeah, they found me through that, and like through a couple of other like Palestinian focused songs that I've done or events that I've done. And I don't know, I think they talked to somebody that I did a show with in Philly, I think, and he recommended me, and then yeah, they reached out to me, and it went from there. And now we're doing Chicago in a couple weeks, November 3rd, another big event like that in Chicago, and then I'm doing another one in Maryland after that. So it's kind of like snowballing a little bit from that, which is cool, because a lot of times when you're rapping about stuff like this, it's like the opportunities might come few and far between, and might really kind of slow down and to a complete halt, because like I said before, people don't care about conscious music, number one, but people really don't want to hear no political music, you know? So it's like, if you're like a political rapper, you're kind of putting yourself in a box that's really hard to succeed. So I want to make sure that I'm the rapper that is Palestinian. You know, I'm not just the Palestinian rapper.
Right.
So right now, this is a moment in time where my energy is focused on you know, making songs to lift up my people and give a voice to the voiceless over there. But I'm not gonna do that for the rest of my life.
Right.
Like, there comes a time where you got to make music about other stuff, you know, if you want it to be successful, I think.
Yeah. So, yeah, aside from like the conscious pro-Palestinian rap, what is sort of your writing process like when you're creating a song?
I think just storytelling. Storytelling is really important to me, whether it's a story about me and my life, or a lot of times one of my favorite ways to write is to put yourself in the shoes of like like I have a song called "Not Okay." It's the first song on my album, and it's all about like anxiety and depression and needing to go seek mental help, help with your mental health. And I've never been in that situation, but my good friend has. So I put myself in their shoes and wrote from the perspective of them, you know, and yeah, just trying to put myself in other people's minds and write stories like that. And a lot of it's just been sad. I like sad songs. I like sad hip hop songs. A lot of it's about, I lost a lot of people in my life, from cousins to friends who have passed and family members. So I write about that a lot too. So my most recent album's pretty sad, but it's not always going to be like that. There's always another story to tell.
Yeah, it's sort of like the season of life, whatever you're in, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you feel like you got caught in habits or like trends writing about the same thing? Like for me personally, when I did my first album, it was very conscious and sad, I guess. Mostly about like this certain period of my life. I was trying to tell the story of it. Do you find that when you try to write new music, you're going back to like the same words, the same concepts? Or do you have a way to kind of refresh and get a different perspective?
Yeah, I had that problem for a little while. Like when I was working on this EP in Philly with there's a independent record label in Philly that I was working with on the EP, and every song I found myself going back to like the everything's gonna be all right kind of vibe. And then I was like, you gotta stop writing. You can't make every single song about everything's good, everything's gonna be fine. Like, yeah, and then now it's every song is about Palestine or every song is about losing loved ones. So it's tough to do that, but I take breaks. I put this project out and I'm in like marketing mode for the foreseeable future. And then when you I think not forcing it is good. You wait until the inspiration strikes again and you try to do things that'll help jog that creative bone, help get it going. But you can't. I feel like if I'm trying to force it and be like I have to write new songs, it'll be kind of repetitive. So gotta wait for the right time, I guess.
You need the inspiration for sure. I feel like one of my biggest things is just living life. Like when I do a conceptual project or something like that, afterwards I just want to not dwell on the same subject. I just want to I gotta live life and experience something, go through something, so I have something to talk about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead if you got something.
That's exactly it. Like living life and just waiting until you experience new things. Because if you haven't experienced anything new, you're not gonna have anything new to talk about, really. So take your time. Wait until life happens, and then you'll have new shit to write about.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned you're in your like full-time musician mode now, right? Between engineering, mixing, putting out your own music. So I'm looking to see, what would your advice be? Steps to take, philosophies to have, that you would give to someone who's looking to live that full-time musician life?
Yeah, and I have to take this advice myself too, because I'm by no means at the top of this game. I'm still taking it day by day and just doing what I can. But I've learned like branding is so important, and I haven't had proper branding for a long time, and I'm still working on my brand and my image and like who am I and what story am I telling? Like what's my story? People will buy into a story and they'll buy into a brand, so really figuring out who you are and what you want people to view you as, and then just being crazy consistent. And I'm not that consistent with my content. I try to get a nice piece of content out like every week or every 2 weeks, but being even more consistent than that. Like I look at people like La Russell and how he's dropping a video every single day, like usually sometimes several videos a day, and he's been doing that for like a couple years straight, and it's just snowballed into. And his advice, which I'll pass on, is just live your life and be your genuine self, but capture it on video and share it with people. And I don't know. That's the best advice that could be consistent, find out how to brand yourself, and yeah, just keep doing it.
Yeah.
If you love it, then keep doing it, no matter where it takes you. And you're gonna feel like beat down a lot about it too, and like it's not going anywhere. But it's a tough game, and it's so saturated right now. Like there's how many songs they say go on Spotify every day? It's a crazy number, bro. It's like there's like 50,000, or maybe it was like 500,000. That seems like a lot, but there's a lot of songs going up on Spotify every day. So you gotta be creative, find a way to break through.
I mean, what do you credit to yourself that you've done to break through that? Because like, we look at your following, you got 17K on Instagram. Not to flex these numbers, but it's impressive. It's substantial for someone who's making music. I mean, certainly with the music that you're releasing now, the Spotify following is strong. You're at 38,000 monthly listeners. What do you attribute that to? Because another thing, like as far as consistency posting, I feel like you got to post almost every day. Like that's where we're at with this brand right now, trying to grow it like 1 to 2 posts every day.
Yeah.
So do you put it towards just the quality of your posts, the content? Like what do you attribute it to?
I think for me personally, it happened because of the quality of certain posts. Like I was at a point trying to post like every day or every other day, and they weren't really doing that hot. But then I had that one post that really did well, or I had that one song like the Demi Palestinian song, or the Look at Me Now song with my boy Clay John in LA. Those couple songs really did well, and that's what I can like attribute all those followings to. Collaborating really has helped me get there. Collaborating with people who have similar fan bases, that you're like, I know for a fact if their fans heard my music, they would like me. So you can even go as far as like pitching your posting your social media content targeted at their fan base, or even if you can collaborate with similar artists and stuff like that. I think that really helped me a lot. I don't know. I've been doing it for so long too that eventually something worked. It's not really, I don't really like the whole like throw shit at the wall until something sticks mentality. But the more you do it, the more you'll figure out, okay, I did this wrong. I could do this differently next time. So 10 years of, about 10 years or longer of me doing it. Like something just recently, like I said, last couple years, something started working.
What would you say your brand is? Because you kind of talked about not falling into the Palestinian rapper. And when you're making content like that, how do you make sure that you don't get that label on yourself?
Right. It's really hard right now, because I think I am falling into that's the Palestinian rapper who keeps it kind of old school hip hop and is super lyrical with it. That's kind of the brand right there, and it's kind of so mainly it's I want my brand to be like for people who miss the lyricism in hip hop and the substance in hip hop. And I think there's a large amount of people out there that still look for substance in music and look for some deeper meaning, and have a love for like poetic music and storytelling music. That's kind of the brand that I think I want to be, and I want to hone in a little bit more on. But yeah, right now, a lot of people, if you ask someone else, they're like, oh, that's the Palestinian rapper that he keeps it pretty hip hop, like old school kind of vibes. I'm fine with that, but I'm trying to expand that a bit.
Yeah. I mean, the storytelling for me, the samples always get me, man. Like my favorite of yours, the Morgan Wallen freestyle.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's on repeat like once a week, man.
I appreciate
that's one
that,
of my
man.
favorites.
I love that one.
But yeah, let's get into some of the successes that you've had. First and foremost, talk about the Sway in the Morning freestyle that you did.
Yeah.
How did that come about? How were you reached out to?
That was actually a contest.
So just submit yourself,
bro. And I was at my wit's end with rapper contests. You know what I'm saying? Because
exhausting, yeah.
I've submitted to like hundreds and hundreds of contests in my life and never hear anything back. And so someone sent it to me, and I was like, I don't really do contests anymore. And my other boy sent it to me. He was like, you have to do this. And it was like Wu-Tang, the RZA, you know, looking for, put a verse on this song, send it in for your chance to go on Sway in the Morning. And I sent it in along with over 10,000 submissions. And they picked 12 of us to go up on Sway.
That's crazy.
And yeah, I was just like scrolling through my email. I got so much junk email. I almost missed it, bro. I was scrolling through the email and I was like, oh, is this for real? I responded and they were like, you're right in time. Like, give us your information, send in your track and this and that.
What was the track you went with?
It was like a open verse on a Wu-Tang song.
Oh,
and you just had to rap on it. And I don't even know what I said on the rap. I was just like, I just did some like freestyle kind of bars. Yeah, kept it real hip hop, kept it real Philly, and yeah, they went with it, and they were like, all right, well, pick a beat. They were like, you're coming in on this date. Here's a folder of beats. Pick one of them and have your verse ready for when you come in. And I'm just like scrolling through the beats. Found shout out to 12-4 was the producer that made the beat that I rapped on there, and the RZA was there. Sway was such a welcoming and kind person, and you know, we connected with him, and we, you know, shared information with him and the people in the studio and his DJ and all that. The RZA gave me a dope Wu-Tang jacket.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it was very cool. So yeah, it was an amazing experience. Connected with some dope artists that day as well, and yeah, that's like. I want to be like, oh no, I'm blowing up. So they had me on Sway in the Morning, but that wasn't the case. I submitted something that actually came through, and yeah, I mean, I thought it was cool that out of 10,000 plus entries, they picked 12 people.
Yeah.
So that made me feel validated in a sense, where I'm like, that was a nice little push to be like, all right, keep doing this, because somebody still cares.
Absolutely.
Especially New York, man. Shout out to New York. They still care about rap, man. New York really cares about rap.
Is that where Sway's based at? It's in New York?
It's in New York, yep.
Okay. And any nerves when you get up there? You're like blacking out, or you're confident, ready to go?
I was fine. I was totally fine. I got a little bit nervous when we were all sitting in some sort of like boardroom, all the rappers that were gonna go on that day, and he comes in. He just walks in the room at one point and says what's up to everybody, and then he's like, all right, so this is what we're going to do. A-Rob, you're going first. They were going alphabetical order, and I was like, like, okay, well, let me hone this in, take some deep breaths, make sure I got my bars ready. And like, when I got in there, I was just like repeating the first two bars over and over in my head, so I'm like, don't fuck up the first two bars. Like,
is that live when you go in there and do it?
Oh, it's live, yeah. Live on the radio, and they were like, yeah, recording it for YouTube and everything. Yeah, a couple people messed up, and then just somebody messed up and like started freestyling. And I was like, thank God I didn't do that.
That'd be my biggest fear, man.
Yeah.
Just freestyling.
Yeah, no, I was like, thank God I didn't do that. But everybody was dope, though. Everybody was dope, actually, and everybody did a really good job that day. So yeah, I don't know. I practiced it so many damn times that I was like, you can't even be nervous about this. You know this verse like the back of your hand, so it's like you gotta execute. Yeah, it's I don't know. I think I'm lucky in those kind of moments. Like ever since a kid, like doing presentations in class and stuff. Like I was like, I'm nice at this. I'm nice at speaking in front of people, and I didn't really get that nervous. And if I did, I just pushed through it, and I still did a good job. So I'm grateful to have that kind of ability to speak in front of people. Be nice at like,
yeah, like people like in school would get all nervous for like doing my presentation in front of class. I was just like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, I'm like, go up there and talk. You know?
Even in college, I did like public speaking, and the guy was just like, you're just a natural presenter, man. And I was like, I rap.
Yeah, no, it really is. Rap, like being a musician of any sort, I think goes hand in hand with just getting up there and.
Well, then I started getting anxiety about it, which was the craziest thing.
Really?
Dude, I tell you.
When did that happen?
like 23, I took a plane ride by myself for the first time. I don't know. Got anxiety ever since.
Damn.
Yeah. That's why I haven't performed in like years.
Damn, that's wild how it could just like happen at a later age like that. Yeah, that's crazy, man.
I don't know. I want to perform again, so I'm about to just push through it and do it.
Yeah. I mean, if you love performing and you love the music, it's like, I guess at some point you got to let your love for the music outweigh your fear to get up there and, you know, see how it goes. If it doesn't go the way you wanted, like, it's not the end of the world. You can do it again.
I have enough confidence in myself as like a artist and performer that like even if it went bad, I think I could still do like.
Yeah, if it went bad to you, people would probably still be like, "That was so dope." Yeah, they're like, "What are you talking about? It went bad." Like they would have no clue what you're saying.
Well, my thing when I performed was I hated like the talking in between songs, so I would just like on to the next one.
Yeah, I have that very like scheduled. Like I know exactly what I'm gonna say in between songs, and something I do at every show now, which this maybe would freak you out, is I like take words from the crowd. And I do a freestyle. Did it in Seattle in front of like 3,000 people, and I was like, went out to the crowd like little kids. I'm like, give me a word, and I'm like, it can be about Palestine, it could be about Seattle, it could just be a random word. So they gave me some words. I like wrote them down real quick on my arm, and I was like, all right, let's see what we can do here. And at that point, it's like you can get up there. And I can be like, you know, I'm riding a bike, sitting here talking to Jeffrey on the mic, and they're like, oh, like you rhymed what mic with bike.
It's like muscle memory though, man. Like once you're doing it, you just like I tried to freestyle a couple weeks ago. Just I don't know, I was listening to a beat and like I didn't have it like I used to. Like when I used to freestyle back in the day, I was like good at it.
Yeah.
But it's just muscle memory. Like.
Yeah, it is, and it's way easier for me when I have the words given to me. If I'm just supposed to freestyle about like whatever and anything that comes to my mind, you might end up saying like, you know, the classic popping the chrome off the top of the dome. Like that's what everybody says when they freestyles. I'm like, no, I'd rather you tell me a word and then I can think about what I'm going to say to, you know, and line it up. But yeah, no, it's I have all the talking though, like in between songs, completely like laid out and outlined, and you know, going from this track to that track. It's like, what am I going to say in between that? I think that makes it easier too.
Yeah, having it like something for you to focus on, almost like a script.
Yeah, I have it scripted, like straight up.
All right, well, I'm gonna get back into performing, I think.
Yeah, no, you should hop back on that
like
stage.
Intimate, man. I want like I'm in like my coffee house era, like 50 people, intimate setting, live music, that type of thing.
I love that. Yeah,
that's what I gotta find.
Yeah,
all right,
coffee shop vibes for sure.
You ever done that?
No, that sounds like your kind of vibe.
Like that, maybe.
Yeah. I've never done like something like really intimate like that. That would be cool.
The last question that I wanted to talk to you about was the Benny the Butcher feature. How does that one come about? And was that, I mean, I would think for someone who likes conscious rap, I'm a fan of Benny the Butcher. I would assume you are as well. I would assume that's a big moment for you of like achievement. Was it something that kind of fell into your lap, or was it something that you were...
Yeah, that's the thing about that. That kind of fell into my lap, and somebody else, you know, it was orchestrated by somebody else, and... you know, that feature was kind of given to me in that way.
Yeah,
so
give me the backstory, how it come about.
I mean, it wasn't like we were in the studio together or anything like that. I didn't even meet the man, so it was kind of the sense of we have this verse, and you know, you can you know, use this verse and get anybody else you want on it, and at like a discounted price because. You know, whatever the connection was there. So it wasn't anything like special to write home about and be like, oh, I was cooking in the studio with Benny. But at the same time, like, cool, I got a song. Yeah. I got my name on the same song as him. So that, and I thought it worked out in the sense of like, they're lyrical. The Griselda guys are like pretty lyrical, kind of New York vibes. And it kind of fit my brand at the time, I think. So yeah, it was cool. But yeah, I'm not too hype about that. I'd have been way hyper if.
Well, how do you even get to that conversation? Like, what was the connect?
It was just somebody I knew through social media, and
And they sent it to him, open verse?
No, they said that he had a open verse track that it was kind of like a throwaway kind of deal. So, you know, it was a throwaway that I got to basically pay to use. And yeah, that's why I was like, this is cool, and I'm gonna make sure it looks. That's why I didn't even like really tell you that we should bring it up, because I want the secret to still be out. I want people to think that I was like in the studio with Benny.
No,
but
man.
that was not the case. No.
Like, my whole thing though was like talking to artists that are very much like, you know, not like at that level.
Right.
It's like you're able to accomplish things for yourself and still, you know, you're someone that we can talk to, have on this podcast that's actively working towards being a full-time musician.
Yeah.
So I feel like I know your answer, but what do you attribute, you know, the successes you've had to? Or I feel like for a lot of people we've talked to, it's just taking every opportunity that presents itself to you. Do you feel like it's that? And also I would ask, was there a specific point in your career where you picked up a piece of advice or where you had an opportunity with someone that kind of was a pivot for you or made a big drastic impact on you?
Yeah. I think because there was one point where I was like kind of scared to say yes to every opportunity that came up. And I was just always like overthinking it. I'm like, I don't really want to do all that. That's not, you know, for my brand or whatever it might be. But then I would say no to an opportunity and I would regret the hell out of it and be like, man, I really should have done that. So then I started saying yes to every single opportunity, and that did really help. And you find that you take one opportunity and then it leads to another one, and then you got like a snowball effect going on. And the second half of that, the one thing that I think really pivoted things was Sway. When Sway happened, everybody kind of looked at me in a different light and was like, okay, you're actually doing, you know, I did Sway and went back to my hometown, and everybody was like, yo, you did it. Like, you made it out the hometown. You actually did music. You know, people, a million people in our hometown are rappers, and you're the one person that made it on Sway in the Morning. I'm like, that felt like a sort of accomplishment, but at the same time, I'm like, we ain't getting nowhere yet. Like, yeah, that's cool, and I'm glad that people think it's cool, but yeah, we didn't accomplish not even a quarter of or an eighth of what I want to accomplish moving forward. So yeah, that definitely made a little pivot though, shook things up.
Well, I wonder what you think in like talking to, I don't know if you know those people, but Chuck Acid I had on the podcast. You know Chuck?
Yeah, I saw what group is he from? He's from a group, or he was just a solo?
Him.
Okay,
Yeah,
I remember his name from such a long time ago. Like, he been making music for a long
Very
time,
dope.
right? Yeah.
But he was on, and I talked to him about like doing the On the Radar performance.
Oh, he did that. That's awesome.
My friend Cam Sunday, who I just had on last episode, he's got like 1 million streams on one song.
That's dope.
So what I feel like one of the things I learned is it's more so, maybe not more so, but the other side of it is kind of getting these validations or these benchmarks where it's not necessarily, you know, how much money you're making, what your success is month by month, but when you have those opportunities that you capitalize on, like the features, like being, you know, any place where you get marketing, Sway in the Morning, Flex Freestyle, whatever it may be, it's sort of those opportunities that create this vision of you from another artist's perspective, like, oh, this guy's doing it, like, I want to work with this guy,
Right.
This guy's successful,
Right.
So do you feel like in some way it's like a compiling of these benchmarks?
Yeah, compiling the benchmarks, the freestyles, the doing shows where big names are also at that same show. Then yeah, people kind of look at that and they say, all right, I'll work with you, and not even just other artists, but like other opportunities. Like, I think I'd be more likely to get a Funk Flex freestyle or something because I already did Sway, or I'd be more likely to get a show, or go on tour opening for a bigger name because I already did a show, a festival with Macklemore.
Well, it's like building that artist resume. I'll say, I think that's the best way to say it.
Yeah,
like
that is a good way to say it.
Your resume.
Yeah. So I think those things are important. The more that you do, and the more that you accomplish, the easier it will be to take that next step to a different height, I think.
All right, this is the last question I have for you. Oh, before we're gonna do a little rapid fire segment.
Oh, okay.
But last one. What would be some advice you would give to your younger self when you first started music?
Don't stop hating on record labels so much.
Really?
Stop hating on record labels so much. Brand yourself and go into the belly of the beast. Because I was like, so, back to the conscious rap, and I just saw all these people in the Lupe fiascos and everybody that's like, oh, the record company fucked me and fuck them, just never sign a deal, stay independent. But I'm like, I wouldn't even know who you are if there was no record label. You'd just be an independent rapper, most likely in Chicago, and it was different back then too. So it's like, if I would have made a plan to get in there with a record label, I'm like,
Really?
They could take your career to a new height, and it may be a shitty deal, but you'll get all the marketing, you'll get all these eyes on you, and you do what, a 3-album deal or whatever, some shitty deal, and then when it's done, if you already have a fan base from that, you're like, all right, I'm done, I'm out, I'm independent now I have a fan base to start a real independent career off of.
That was my one regret with the record label. It was very fresh from like me starting my music career, trying to pursue it full time. It was like 8 months into it, so I was like, "Fuck this, I don't need it." But in retrospect, like the doors that opens and the eyes that it gets on you, it's like, it's obviously not free, but it's more marketing that you're gonna get.
And they might take 99% of the revenue and leave you with 1%, but
it's almost like doing a internship or something.
Yeah,
you get that experience, you get the eyes on you. Great opportunity for you.
Yeah, and once that deal, it's not, you're not signing a lifetime deal or anything. So once that deal is over, like I said, you'll have the eyes on you, and then you can either renegotiate a deal that's more favorable for you, or you can be like, thank you, I'm done, I'm going independent now, and not everybody can be Chance the Rapper. And
any experience for you with the labels? Because I'd say most people that come on here are like, fuck the industry. And I would ask you also, in today's day and age, do you think it's as necessary where you can build your own brand and your own platform for yourself? But first, why this label positivity that you got?
Well, I wouldn't even say it's label positivity, but I would say at a young age, when I hated labels so much, and they were more necessary when I was at a young age, if I would have had a positive attitude about them then, it could have changed things. Also, I would have told myself, you're not ready to mix and master your own music, go to a studio. Save that money up and go to a real studio instead of putting this stuff on SoundCloud that sounds unprofessionally mixed and mastered. I
don't know. Isn't that a bit of the story, how you get to where you are?
It is.
Like learning those skills?
It is a lot of the story, yeah. And like, I never went to school for engineering or anything. It was just all trial and error and YouTube University, just learning online. But yeah, I mean, now it is a lot less necessary for a label now, and you can build your own brand and following, but it's also millions of people trying to do that at the same time, so it's really hard to cut through. Like, you can look at my one good friend Anise, millions of followers now, millions and millions of streams on his music. He's on the new Hens Hall remix with Macklemore, and I was connected with him when he had 2,000 followers, and he was like rapping, and then he kind of found his pocket of like making love songs, and that's basically his main thing is making love songs, and he was so consistent on social media, and he built this big following, and a lot of people started using his sounds on TikTok and stuff, and it all just happened that way, and that's how he built his brand without a record label. But I can't name that many people who did that. There's like the Connor Price or the Nick, whatever his name is. I don't know. You know anybody else that's like a good example of building your own brand with no record label right now?
I don't know. Russ, Code of the Friend, he's independent, right?
Yeah, he is.
I don't know. Well, it's like you said, I feel like it's less maybe being famous or being like an established artist, but I think more so in this day and age of social media, it's almost like staying consistent with those pops of content. It's like so you're always on people's radar, making something that's really true to you and something that's a really strong piece of content.
Yeah. I think if I could have like a big enough following that I could stay true to the music and the art that I want to make, and I can go to any main city in the country and do a show and 100 people will show up, that would be cool. That would be fine. I don't need to be doing stadiums or anything, you know. So that would be success for me. I think that's what success could look like in that sense. But yeah, it's tough, man. When you don't have a team also, like, get a team around you, because, I mean, I can't even say that from experience, because I don't have any sort of social media team or marketing team or anything. It's just all solo dolo. So, like, I would love to have a group of people around me that are helping do this and getting me on shows and, you know, helping with social media content, videos and stuff like that. I think that is important for building a brand without a label.
Well, how do you manage all that as a solo artist? The marketing, the branding, the coming up with ideas.
Slowly. I guess that's why I'm not as consistent as I could be, because I'm doing the videos, I'm doing the recording, mixing, mastering, and yeah, I'm doing everything. So it's a little bit of like I like to control the way that everything is, but also if I found a trusting group of people that could help with that, like, that would be dope.
All right, let's get into this rapid fire. I got for you at the end. Your favorite song right now?
My favorite song right now, bro, it's like a song by Catfish and the Bottlemen. No, you know what? It's by TV Girl. Let's go Summer 2000s, baby, by TV Girl. I like it. That's the other thing.
Is this a new song?
I don't listen to rap, bro. That's the craziest thing. I literally don't listen to rap music unless it's like old. Man, I could pick any Catfish and the Bottlemen song or any TV Girl song, really.
I never even heard of this TV Girl.
It's fire. It's like all samples and
what's the song called? Oh, Summer 2000s, baby. It's a whole...
Yeah, that's their newest song. So you said right now, but yeah, no, if I had to do, it's just like trippy stuff. It's like probably the opposite of what you expected.
Is this what you drive up listening to?
I don't even listen to music in the car, bro. Sometimes I do. I drove up listening to sports radio.
Oh, yeah.
No, check out TV Girl, all their albums, though. And I don't know if you like any like alternative rock or anything like that, but Catfish and the Bottlemen are my favorite band.
Outside of hip-hop, I'm into Post Malone country albums, really doing something for me.
Yo, I think I played that. I played some of that, and I really liked it. I got to play the rest of it.
I'm liking it.
Yeah, no.
Besides that, dope. Just like John Mayer, but that's like almost R&B, like so bluesy.
Yeah.
And then like oldies, like old school rock almost.
Yeah. No, I'm there for that. The classic rock vibes. But yeah, I dead seriously do not really listen to rap music.
All right, so surprise with question number 1. Number 2, what's your favorite song you've written?
My favorite song I've written might be why can't I even think of my own song title? The second to last song on my album.
I mean, there's a lot.
Yeah, there's so many. The second to last song on my album might be my favorite song that I've written.
Proud of You?
Proud of You. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Number 3, Jay-Z or J. Cole?
Jay-Z.
No hesitation there, huh?
No, sorry, Cole. I really grew up on. I grew up on Friday Night Lights by J. Cole. Still one of my favorite. Still my favorite project of his to this day. Yeah.
Is there a perfect album for you? If not the best album, what is the one album that's just that's a masterpiece?
Acid Rap. I guess he doesn't call it an album, but Acid
project, whatever.
Acid Rap is perfect.
Do you think it was just like that time in your life when you heard it? It's just...
I think it was the time in my life when I heard it and the time his life when he made it, that was just like everything worked out so well in that
I will
project.
say I'd never heard anything like that at the time. Like I didn't like Chance at first because I was like, "What is this guy, sing or rap? Like pick one." Like, the delivery was bothering me.
Yeah.
And now I love Chance.
Well, my boy tried to put me on to like 10 Day, and he sent me 10 Day, and I was like, yeah, he's all right. And I was like, his voice kind of annoys me. And then he sent me Acid Rap. He was like, listen to this. Right. And I was like, yo. I was like, I'm sorry for what I said before. This is the best project I ever heard.
And that was the first time I heard Bronson on that Nana song.
Oh yeah.
I was like, shit, this guy's voice is...
No, I heard Bronson. I heard Bronson a lot before that. And then he had Absol on there. Yeah, man, that was just such a great time when we were getting like Section 80, and we got Overly Dedicated, Section 80. We got Friday Night Lights by Cole. We got Absol's whatever his project was at that time. We got Acid Rap. So many good. We got like Faces by Mac Miller. It's like so many great things happening at that time, man. What happened? What happened to rap?
Let's see if you can finish this line, A-Rob. I ain't had 50 Cent when my grandmama died. Now I'm going back to Cali with my Jacob on.
Now I'm going back to Cali with my Jacob on. See how time flies?
Correct.
Hated to love it, done the dog.
In the music video game.
How many versions of that damn song did they have?
There's the Gina remix.
They had the Mary J. Blige remix.
Logic, Ableton, FL Studios, or other?
Logic. Logic.
Let's keep it simple.
Is that what you're using here? Logic?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Logic.
Very user friendly. Ableton kind of makes my brain hurt. Pro Tools is kind of similar to Logic. The newest Logic is kind of similar to Pro Tools. So I know a lot of people used to say Pro Tools is like the industry standard, but now it like doesn't really matter.
Whatever works.
Yeah, whatever works.
Last one. We've had some not very nice comments about the state of New Jersey in the past couple pods. What are your thoughts on the state as it relates to Pennsylvania, New York, maybe?
Listen, man, I love New Jersey because not only my family came here first, and a lot of my family is still in New Jersey, but I love my South Jersey people who are Philly sports fans. You know what I'm talking about? They're one of us, you know? So anybody in Jersey who's not repping a New York team, but is repping the Eagles or the Phillies or the Flyers or the Sixers, shout out to them especially.
South Jersey, Philly.
It's one in the same. Yeah. Just don't move the Sixers to South Jersey, please.
No, that's off the table now.
Okay, good.
Well,
they're building the thing in Center City, right?
Yeah.
That's,
Camden deal off the table.
That's weird.
Last question. Eagles, Nick Sirianni, are we fucked there? What's going on?
I actually just learned that he shaved his head.
You watched the game?
I did, but I didn't even pay attention to the fact that he had a shaved head, and I didn't watch his interview or whatever.
Yeah. Post game was wild.
Yeah, and then he yelled at the fan. Yeah, well,
I gotta tell you, I'm just kind of watching at this point. I don't have any really faith in Jalen Hurts that he's gonna turn the corner. Sirianni, I'm kind of over. The play calling was stagnant. I'm just kind of watching and expecting a first round exit at this point.
I'm sort of watching and expecting the same. And I don't know. It's just hard to tell because then you hear people that are talking about he came in his first 3 years, first year went to the Super Bowl, second year almost went to the Super Bowl, third year started out really hot and it didn't end that well.
Yeah,
so they're he's won a lot while being here.
And he's improved. He's progressed.
Yeah, so I'm I don't know. Is he to blame or is there something else going on? I personally don't love his personality.
Try. If he's winning, it's fine. But
yeah, he's just I want a coach that he says something the whole room listens up and they're like, oh, this. Yeah, Sirianni's attitude. I'm saying I don't like his personality that much. I want
mature too, a little bit.
I want an old head, I want a grandfather coach. You say something, I'm gonna respect your advice and be yeah, that got to be correct. But he just says things, and he's so long-winded. When they ask him a question, he just
It's always a story.
Always a story. But also, before we wrap up here, I brought something special.
I know.
I brought something special here.
Whoa!
We got Tell the good folks at
Teddy's
home. what we
branded
got.
root beer?
Teddy's root
Is this
beer
like a Pennsylvania
for
special
Teddy's
or something?
Vinyl Club. I don't know. I just saw it in the store and I was like, this is perfect.
In New Jersey?
I saw it in PA. Yeah.
See, we're still lacking some places. That's great. We'll just probably put this on the corner there and as a prop until it goes bad.
Yeah, I'm like, he probably don't even like root beer, but you know.
No,
but
I get down
put
with
it
some
up
root beer.
there.
I'm gonna make a root beer float tonight.
Yo, actually, yeah, do it and just fill it up with water or something. Keep it up there.
Wow, that's second gift we got on the pod. Freddie Foulet and now A-Rob, and that's all we got for episode 9, ladies and gentlemen. A-Rob.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, bro. Appreciate you.
Hold on, man. Just over an hour.
See how time flies.